Your days with me are numbered.
Good afternoon, gentlemen of the press. You're welcome here to another day of Parade of Suspects. Today we have a total of 13 suspects. 8 of these suspects are being held for offenses of kidnapping and murder. 2 are being held for cyber kidnapping, while 3 other suspects are being held for illicit possession of weapons and unlawful trade in these weapons. The first case, where we have 8 suspects, is a very unfortunate incident. It's a crime, a heinous one, laced with wickedness. A 93-year-old man, late Dariye, Defwan, a native of Orop in Bokos local government area of Plateau State, was kidnapped by a gang of kidnappers. Dariye was held incommunicado for about 8 days in very unsanitary condition, fed in a manner that is unbefitting of a man of his status and age. And after a protracted negotiation, a ransom of 10 million naira was paid to these kidnappers. Rather than let the innocent old man go home, the kidnappers, in addition to the trauma they've made Dariye to go through, in addition to the extortion of 10 million naira that they have successfully executed, went on to murder Dariye in cold blood. This incident happened in June 2020, and ever since then, particularly after the recovery of his body, which was a clear confirmation of his death, detectives from the Intelligence Response Unit and other police investigators have been churning around this case, working day and night to uncover this crime. This year, within the last 30 days, we've been able to make tremendous progress. And today, we have 8 of the key suspects that played major roles in the planning and execution of that particular crime. These suspects are, and when I call your name, you raise up your hand. These suspects are Abubakar Mohammed, Yao Saidu. Abubakar Mohammed is age 18 years. Yao Saidu is 40 years. Titus Ezekiel, 35 years. Dauda Issa, 30 years. Sunday Ibrahim, 35 years. Mangut Shumwa, 30 years. Henry Amos, 35 years. And Jethro Ngusen, alias Baba Metuo, 57 years. The unfortunate thing about this crime is that all of the suspects who played major roles in this crime, except for some of the participants who are Fulanis and who were actually recruited by the rest of the suspects, are all from the same village with Dariye. They are all from Orop village. They are all from Bokos local government area. They are all from Plateau State. And that perhaps explains why they took the very wicked, costly decision of taking out the life or snuffing out life from Dariye. Jethro Nguso, who clearly is the oldest of them all, age 57, is the one that initiated the crime, identified the victim as a profitable one, recruited young men that carried out the crime, handled the distribution of the ransom that was eventually collected. I will ask just one question, and I will allow the suspects to talk to you. I'll simply ask each and every one of them how much they got from the ransom. And that will be a clear indication for you that they are all participants in the crime, either as accessories before, during, or after the crime. Starting from you, what's your name? No, you are not properly positioned. He needs to fit, my friend. Give him the microphone.
I am Mangut Shumwa.
How much did you get as your share of the money?
1,110,000.
I am Henry Amos.
How much did you get?
100,000.
Yao Saidu.
1 million. Abubakar Muhammad. 4,000. 400,000.
Good.
Sunday Ibrahim, 1.2.
Ngweso, how much did you get? Sit down. Stand up.
500,000.
My name is Titus Ezekiel. I collect 500,000.
I am Doda Isa. I collect 650,000.
At this juncture, we will allow Sunday Ibrahim, age 35 years, to give you an abridged version of the story. Sunday, you tell us your name, your age, where you come from, who gave you the information about, who recruited you to carry out the crime, how did you people carry out the crime, how many days Baba stayed with you, and how much was given as ransom.
I am Sunday Ibrahim from Plateau State, Bokos local government. Live at Horop. Sir, this assignment was given to me by Mr. Jetron Gusen.
Point at him.
Yeah, you see. By Mr. Jetron Gusen, which
Jethro, stand up.
which he clearly gave me the reason which he convinced me about that his son, that's Joshua, got a governorship.
Hold on, I'll help you.
Okay.
Who recruited you to commit the crime?
Mr. Jetron Gusen, sir.
Good. What was the reason given by Mr. Jethro for you to kidnap Dariye?
The reason he gave to me that his son, Joshua, was one time governor for 8 years. And secondly, was one time senator for 8 years. Then thirdly, he wants us, which he look around the community, the youth are unemployed. So we should kidnap him so that we got a ransom.
How many of you participated in the kidnap?
Sir, we are 8 here, but some Fulani men which I don't know them, they are not here.
How many days did Pa Dariye stay with you?
Okay, he stayed with us about 8 days, sir.
Who took care of him while he was with you?
Mr. Abubakar.
Who cooked for him while he was with you?
He is.
Abubakar, stand up. Is he the one that cooked for him? Which food did you give Papa? Okay, sit down. How much did you people collect?
We collected the money. When we collected the money, we took him to Babaje Tron. He confirmed the money, which he told us that is 10 million naira.
Thank you. Give the phone to Andrew. Mangut. Mangut.
Yes, sir.
Who killed Pa Dariye after the ransom was collected?
I was the one, sir.
What kind of weapon did you use in killing him?
Is this type of weapon, sir?
Who provided the weapon?
It's Jetron Kusen.
Why did you kill him?
Because when he come and tell me to shoot him, let's go, so that we should go. Then I tell him, why will we kill him? Then he was talking like that. And that was the first time I hung on. Really, I say I will try to shoot.
Okay, thank you. Give me the microphone. Collect the microphone. Have anything to tell the world? Do you have anything to tell the Nigerian police force, the Dariye family, or the Nigerians generally?
Oh, thank you so much, the officers and men of the Nigeria Police Force. Actually, I was the one, I was trying to say some things, and if you give assignment and the children are going and mess up or they do something, all the blame will go to the person who give the job. I was trying to deny, do something. I ask all of you to forgive me. So I give the job to these children and they went and mess up. My mission was not for them to kill him after collecting ransom. Actually, it is not in my mind. So it has happened. We will ask the police to forgive, the family to forgive, and everybody who is here, because it's not good when you collect the ransom and you kill the person. So children have done their own. There's nothing we can do. Thank you so much.
Gentlemen of the press, you've heard him. Again, I want to make this very strong point. Jethro mustered an apology for the death, but Jethro sees nothing wrong in collecting ransom. This should be a lesson for everyone out there. When you encourage your child, your husband, your cousins to commit economic crimes because you feel no blood is being shed, you are actually sowing a seed that might just come back to you like a whirlwind. Today, we see traditional rulers giving titles to persons with wealth that they cannot explain We see churches and religious leaders and mosques celebrating young men and women with questionable wealth. We see all kinds of people being celebrated. We must return back to our roots. We must do the right thing. We must set the stage right and set the right example for our children and the younger generation. Again, the second lesson here is the fact that all crimes are local. Hardly will any person come to your community to carry out a kidnap successfully without an insider. Investigation here has showed clearly, investigation into this case has shown clearly that the bulk of the people who conceptualized the idea of this crime, planned it, and executed the crime are all persons who are known to the Dariye family. And so we must watch the people around us. We must be our brothers and sisters' keepers. And we must begin to interrogate our socialization processes. The roles of our family, the roles of our school, the roles of the church and the mosque, the roles of our social institutions. We will proceed, tidy up the remaining aspects of this investigation, and charge the suspects to court appropriately. Okay, gentlemen, we have before you 3 suspects. Emmanuel Joel. When I call you, raise your hand. Emmanuel Joel, 42 years. Ayuba Joel, 30 years. And Hassan Umar, 30 years. These suspects were arrested on the 28th day of August, 2021, somewhere in a border community between Nasarawa and Taraba State, called Tunga Awe. These 3 suspects were arrested after months of intensive monitoring and they were eventually arrested after operatives of the IRT mounted a sting operation that was intelligence-driven and clinically executed. A total of 26 AK-47 magazines, 1 AK-49 rifle, and this magazine, and 14 live ammunition for the AK-47 rifles were recovered from them. These suspects are in the business of unlawfully procuring, distributing, and selling these weapons to end users who are largely criminals, kidnappers, bandits, terrorists, armed robbers, and the rest of the bad guys out there terrorizing the good guys out there. We understand clearly the correlation or the relationship between
these illicit weapons out there and violent crimes. And therefore, we will continue to intensify our efforts to go after the dealers and those who are profiting from some of the pockets of conflict in this country, and continue to mop up systematically these weapons out there. That's one of our modus operandi, or one of our major strategies for actually dealing with some of the violent crimes across the country. We believe very strongly, and we are seeking the support of Nigerians, that if we are able to reduce to the barest minimum the number of illicit weapons out there, we would have successfully weakened the capacity of the criminals to unleash havoc to the larger society. We allow them to speak to you, and one of our brothers from IRT will guide their interrogation. They will speak to you in Hausa language, and he will interpret in English language. Just a very brief one.
Sunana Ayuba Joel. Shekara na 30 daidai. Abinda ya sa aka samu wani abu a wurina, ni makamin kifi ne, ni jikun ne. To muna zama a daji a kan yashi tare da waɗansu fulanukan da muna daji da su. Akwai wani mai suna ɗan Bala Puama, muna zaman daji ma da shi tare. Ana nan.
Ga mana da kai aka samu kayan nan ko ba kai bane?
Da ni aka samu kayan.
Okay, he gave us his name and that he's 30 years old. He confessed that these ammunitions were recovered from him. He said he's a Jukun by tribe, and he's into fishing and farming, but that they live in the forest with some Fulani bandits.
Kayan nan da muke zama da Dambala ana nan sai shi ya koma abin shi, ni kuma ina nan Nasarawa Tunga. Muna gwalleji a wuri tare. Da ya koma Taraba sai ya yi min waya da cewa idan mai so waya nan kaya shi yana da shi. Dambala Puama.
Okay, he has mentioned one Dambala as the person who provided him with these magazines. He said Dambala left the forest where they were, went back to Taraba, and informed him that if he finds any prospective buyer of weapons, he should contact him, and that is how he got this weapon. Kai ma gaya mana sunanka, shekarunka, da kuma abin da aka same ka da shi.
Sunana Hassan Umar. Ina a wai local government. An kama ni da bindiga. Ɗan sanda su yi shagin gidan ina nawa. An same ni da bindiga cikin gida wanda ina ke tsare kaina da dukiyana. Shekaruna 31.
He gave his name as Hassan Umar, 30 years of age. He said he lives in Awe local government area of Nasarawa. He confirmed that the police raided his house and recovered this firearm from him. Ga mana inda ka samu bindigan.
A wani ƙauye cikin Benue, mutumin yana wurin sunan garin Bajimba.
Okay, he said he got it from a certain individual who resides in Bajimba in Benue State.
The last set of suspects. These are two young men, Sadiq Abubakar, age 31 years. Sadiq, raise up your hand. And Peter Moses, age 25 years. We still have some other suspects who are implicated in this crime, that are currently at large. We want to assure the country and the victims of these crimes that we will certainly get at them. These two young men are being held for offenses of cybercrime, specifically for cyber kidnapping. Gentlemen of the press, we are seeing an emerging trend, a gradual migration of some criminal elements to the social media platforms, where they use the social media platforms to identify, isolate, and lure potential victims whom they eventually take hostage. What they do is to simply use their social media handles, particularly Facebook, to identify gullible or vulnerable young girls, pretend to be in love with them, and initiate an online relationship with them. At the right time, they invite these young girls over, and once you visit them, they will violate you sexually. They will steal your phones or whatever accessories, jewelries, or whatever valuable accessory on you, and then they will hold you hostage until ransom is paid. These suspects, particularly Sadiq Abubakar, has been established by IRT investigators to be a serial offender in this category of crimes. He's a serial cyber kidnapper, he's a serial cyber rapist. We have two young ladies whom we've rescued from them recently, and we've established contact with them, and they will help us in the course of prosecution, but we need to protect the identity, because these are victims of crimes that victims of crimes that touch on the violation of their persons. The advice we want to give to members of the public is to be wary while on Facebook and other social media platforms. For you to survive and successfully navigate the traps, the booby traps being set out there by these cyber criminals, you must be social media savvy. You must question everything you see being put out there. Sadiq Abubakar, for example, bears the name Samuel Johnson on his Facebook account. And so most of the things you see out there on the social media platforms are fake. They are not real. You have pseudo personalities, you have pseudo scenarios, you have pseudo characters, you have all manners of sham and spurious things being put out on the social media platforms. You must develop an innate ability to doubt, question, and interrogate everything you see there. Most importantly, as a young woman, if you meet someone on the social media platform and the person is inviting you to meet him physically, we advise that you insist on meeting the person. If it's so important to you, insist on meeting the person in an open place. You can choose a church or a mosque. You can choose an open shopping mall. You can choose an open park. It must be somewhere where there are enough crowd to serve as a strong deterrence against anyone taking advantage of you. And even after you have survived this first stage, you must still continue to exercise caution until you have sufficiently conducted your own background check of the person that you met online. It's not all that glitters that are good. Young men, young women, beware of what you see and what you experience on the social media platform. But suffices to say that a look at our crime trend and patterns has showed that virtual kidnapping is on the rise, and we must work together to nip it in the bud. We will allow you to interact with them very quickly. Sadiq will tell you how he has lured some of his victims.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sadiq Abubakar. I'm from Kogi State. My social media name is Samuel Johnson. I have been online kidnapping, and that is, I do, sometimes they do send me friend requests, sometimes I do send them friend requests, become friends, and I invite them, and from there I capture them, and I ask for ransom. So that is what I do.
How long have you been to this business, Mr. Sadiq?
I've been into the business just for 6 months now.
How many people so far?
It's 500,000.
What is your advice to young women out there?
My advice to young women out there, they should be careful and trust nobody, and they should always, no matter how, women are very easy to deceive. And again, we should always be careful. They should always be careful and be sensitive.
How many people have you slept with?
2 people.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. We stop here. It's been a fantastic time out with you. Thank you for coming around. God bless you. And keep doing the great jobs that you are doing. Together we make Nigeria better.
Yeah, my name is Dr. Haruna Dariye. I'm Dariye's son.
Talk to us about the impact this has had on your family.
It has been a devastating thing. You see, something with the kidnapping, if you don't see the person, you live in trauma. We have been in this trauma for the whole past 1 year until recently, police, in their wisdom, did their own work in a very nice way and caught somebody in Kaduna. That one said, somebody in Taraba, they caught that guy again, and the thing was revealed to the people that we dare not them in our village. Well, you see, when the ransom was paid, nobody told us they killed him. All what they told us that they have released him in a particular junction, we should go there and see him.
What junction?
In the village there, in Horop, at the Hawk Road, in the village, is a village there. So when we went there, we didn't even know, we got a body that has already been decomposed. We didn't even know that he's the one. His hand and leg was all cut. Nobody recognized that he's the one. It was one of the suspects that later said, that is the body of Dariye. And that body was thrown away, and we couldn't believe it. It's a very sad moment to us. We live in the same village. Nobody could believe it. The whole people, the whole villages has been saying that we frame him with the police, that he cannot do this. But thank God today, he confessed with his mouth that this is what he has done. He has given an assignment and he didn't ask them to kill him. That's what he said. Yes. Yes, recently, we don't even know what between him and the former governor. He has been saying the guy is not a good man. And that was what he told the boys. He told them that the man has been a governor for 8 years. He didn't do anything. He has been a senator for 8 years. He didn't do anything. So he wants them to get money from us so that at least them that can start to establish themselves in the village. I don't even know what that means for. We don't even know the hatred between us and him until this issue happened. We now know that he has something he has in mind that he has been planning for.
How do you feel right now?
But I'm happy that we know the people that killed our dad. The story will be told to our children, that look, your grandpa was killed by this and that and this and this person.